Hey, welcome to the new year. It's 2026, and this is the Geezer, and I'm in Geezerville, and I have a couple of things that I want to talk about, and 7 of them, as a matter of fact, so I might refer to my notes over there every once in a while just to keep myself on track and respect your time. The first is 2026 will be a new season, a second season for the Echoes of Deception series. Now that series is about storytelling, and particularly about how stories can impact our lives throughout decades. And you all know that those of you that have seen the first 9 episodes, which aired in 2025, that these stories begin in 1487 and they go to current time. The second thing I want to talk about that is new is that I have found it very helpful that takes a lot of research to put together a story on my part. And I enjoy the research. It's not like work. But I find there are many threads of interest as I accumulate information about the story that I'm trying to tell. And so that means that each time I do an episode, starting with episode 10, which will come up in about a week or so in January, I'm writing a SUBSTACK essay on my SUBSTACK website. The link is below and you can find it very easily. And I hope you'll subscribe, because then you'll receive these essays. Now, what about the essays? Well, they're going to be essays that don't just replicate the script of what I'm saying, but talk about the interesting backstories and things that I can't quite cover in detail on a single broadcast on video. So you might find those interesting as well. And there will be available on Substack one link associated with each new episode on my YouTube channel. Third thing that I want to talk about is the quantity of episodes you can expect for 2026. I think a couple of weeks ago, I kind of told a white lie because I didn't really think it through. And that was that there would be maybe I would commit to 2 episodes every month, meaning about 24 episodes a year, if you do the math. But I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve that. I don't know that I want to, because I'm really emphasizing quality over quantity. And the research, even though it's enjoyable, takes time. And I have a lot of other things going on right now. So I want to make sure that the quality doesn't suffer. Now, in some months, I may be inspired and just go for it and do more than one story that month. But I'll commit to 1 every month for sure, beginning in January. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to look at my notes here. The weekly writing that I do on Substack, that has actually gone up in volume. And there's a reason for that. Now, some of you may know that I'm in the process of writing a book, and the book is called Leadership for Someone Like You by Someone Like Me, a geezer. Here I am at 78 years old. I don't want to age myself too quick. Writing a book, but I do feel strongly about this book, and it's what it is really, I wrote a white paper back in 2008, and it was on leadership, and there were 40 essential principles that I put into that white paper, but things have drastically changed since 2008, and I want to try to capture those changes and ask the question, do any of those 40 points change in an age and an era of AI? And if so, why and how? And is leadership even relevant anymore in our culture? And I'm going to be tackling that kind of information in that book. So Substack is a helper. It's an outreach to community and to build community. And you can participate. It's an interactive thing. You can comment. So every time I finish a chapter in the book, and there will be at least 40 chapters, every time I commit a chapter, there will be a point of an essay that I write that's associated with that chapter in my Substack. So there you have it. The book evolving and the principles of behind the stories that I'm writing on Echoes of Deception. So I really encourage you, if at all interested, join my community on Substack. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is I'm going to introduce something else called the Geezer Circle. And I got the inspiration for this. It's not going to be some kind of an exclusive club, but it isn't going to be a membership, and it's going to be a paid membership, a modest fee per month. But it's a personal, private space that is secure in the sense that anything that I post there or anything that you comment on stays on that platform in that private community. So, there are just some things that I'd love to talk about that I don't feel as comfortable talking about in a public manner across the, however many billion viewers there are now on YouTube. So that's what the Geezer Circle is, and I invite you to join because I'm going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm going to talk about what it feels like to be growing old. I'm going to talk about ageism. I'm going to talk about my search for a new job. Yeah, that's right. At 78, I'm trying to put my oar in the water out there because I believe so much and so strongly in the notion that AI can have a positive impact on the senior community. And based on my experience and what I've done over the course of my life, I'd like to be able to join a team out there that would have an old guy like me, because I know what it's going to take to get the adoption rate that it will make it viable for the senior community. I'm going to talk about things like, hey, what do you face when you get a guy? What do you face if your PSA test goes up? How do you think about that? What are your choices? All men will eventually get prostate cancer. And so how do you feel about that? What do you share? How do you go about making a decision that's right for you? Now, I'm not a doctor, but I go through those feelings because I routinely monitor my health. And they're not easy questions, and it helps to be able to share the information. I've certainly gained a lot of benefit by listening to other people willing to do that. And I have a lot of friends out there that are affected by that. So I'm going to talk about my journey with trying to avoid diabetes and my sugar time journey, I call it. And I'm going to share more information about that as well in this private Geezer Circle. So I really welcome you to join that. And it's my effort to build a community, and most importantly, build a community of trust, and where you can trust in the information and the sincerity of that information, because I think that's what's really missing in our culture today is nobody trusts anything anymore. They don't trust institutions, their neighbors. All the data shows that. So I don't know what I can do about that, but I can do what I like to do, which is tell stories and talk about things in a way that invites others to join in the conversation, because I think that is the heart of what it takes to stay healthy in your fourth act, as my buddy William Shakespeare said. That's the act when things get really interesting. So let's share that, and I invite you to the Geezer Circle. All right, next thing. This is just a clarification. If you subscribe on my Substack channel, what does that mean? That means every time I post something on Substack, and sometimes I talk about financial things, sometimes I talk about the evolution of money, I talk about subjects that I think are relevant and topical at the time. And if you subscribe, if you do that before the end of May, that means whatever, how many days, 31 days in May. Anyway, if you do that, it's free for life. I'm not going to charge anything. After May, I'm not going to make any commitments. There may be some layering on my Substack account, meaning that some of you will need to pay membership fees after that to get access to the content. Not all, but on certain kinds of content. So more about that when I know more about it. I'll be sure and tell you and be very upfront and transparent about what's going to happen. But you know what? You can avoid all that confusion if you subscribe before May 31st. And let's go on to the next point. The last one is a point of encouragement. I find that one of the things that's so beneficial is that as you grow older and you get into Act 4, there are fewer friends around. And you know what I mean by that. Developing friendships is more difficult. But I feel very strongly that one of the things that helps all of us in life is to stay curious and to reach out and not be afraid. And my community of past friends is shrinking, and I'm reaching out. And that's the purpose of my storytelling. It's something I can do that I find joy in doing. Just like when I paint, I find joy in painting, and I find joy in storytelling. And I want to use that and hopefully have others that feel the same way and want to engage and just join a community. I'm avoiding a lot of the social media. I'm off of Facebook and Instagram and all that. I just don't find it valuable. And so I'm hoping to build a community here. And I just want you to stay curious, try it out for a while. There's no financial penalty. You won't be inundated with a bunch of advertisements because I'm not promoting anything. I'm not trying to become a zillionaire by content creation or anything of the sort. So my heartfelt thanks to those of you who have followed me up to this point. And I just encourage you to try and make some hope every day and share it. And that's part of what we'll do on the Geezerville Chronicles, either on my YouTube channel or on my Substack website. That's all for now, and I hope you have a great day and that the new year turns out to be the best year ever. Talk to you soon.